Which Guardians of the Galaxy character is going to die in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Now, it has come out that one of the members is going to die in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, so I want to talk about who I think it will be, who I think it should be, who it definitely won't be, and who I definitely don't want it to be. Now, the Guardians of the Galaxy consist of Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, Drax the Destroyer, Rocket Raccoon, Groot, which we don't know if he's going to be teenage Groot or between teenage and adult Groot. Obviously, he was baby Groot, and then we saw him in Infinity War and Endgame as like the teenage Groot, so we don't know what he's going to be. Nebula, Mantis, and potentially Gamora. Now, I say potentially because we didn't see Gamora at the end of Endgame, and there is some speculation that because obviously Tony Stark, aka Iron Man, did not know that Gamora had actually turned back good like the 2014 Gamora, he may have accidentally snapped her away. So, for the purpose of this video, we are going to assume that he didn't snap her away, as it would probably be something that we saw on screen if she were snapped away. So, without further ado, the first character I'm going to speak on is Peter Quill, aka Star-Lord, probably the main character of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and if I'm being honest, I think he is pretty safe and will not die in Volume 3. Because why would he die? He's like the main character of the Guardians of the Galaxy. His character definitely has a lot more potential for the future, and a lot of the time when a character dies is when the movie that they die in is centered around like their life and their backstory and stuff like that, and we had that in Volume 2. So he survived that. I think he's going to survive from now on, but I do think that this movie, whoever dies in it, will be one of the centre focuses of the movie. A lot of people have speculated that the next person I'm going to talk about is going to die, and they also think that the movie may potentially be focused around them and their backstory a lot more, and that person is Rocket Raccoon. Personally, I think he could be in danger, to be honest, as he is a raccoon. They don't actually live that long, so he is going to have to die at some point, unless when they like tested on him and altered him, however they did it in the lab, that he was made, I guess, which we may find out about in this movie. This is what I'm saying. If we find out about his backstory and stuff in this movie, which a lot of people think we will, then he could be the one to perish by the end. What I was actually saying there is, unless they altered him and his aging process and how long he's going to live when they were working on him in the lab, then he is very much at risk. They either kill him off in this movie and flush out his story and stuff like that, or he just becomes a bit of a sidekick character that's funny, that's cool, that's a main character, which I wouldn't mind because I'd like to see him stay alive, but if they want to really build on the character, then they should probably focus this movie around him, which obviously puts him at risk of dying, because once they complete the character, why keep him around for the sake of it? And obviously, he's a character we've learned to love, and it adds emotion to the movie. Now, the next character is the one that I personally believe is most likely to die, and that is Drax. Drax has become a bit of a laughing stock, should we say, in the Marvel universe and for us fans watching. A lot of people are annoyed at the fact that they nerfed Drax so much from the comics to the MCU, which I'm not actually that bothered about. Obviously, the MCU is only taken from the comics as like a rough base and to get the characters. It's not literally reciting the story of the comics, so I don't mind. I think he's a funny character. I think he's alright. So I'm not bothered at the fact that they nerfed him. However, I don't really see too much of a future for him. So he could definitely die in this movie. Side that with the fact that he is incredibly stupid and could definitely get himself killed somehow in this movie. I think he is very much at danger. However, he is kind of like a glue that binds the Guardians of the Galaxy together without trying, so he could potentially be more important than we think, as he is like, when they're arguing they can always turn and laugh at Drax, but that's what I mean. He is just a bit of a laughing stock, so unless they're going to build on him some more and develop him as a character, which I'd love to see, he could definitely be dying in this movie. Now, the next character I think is very much safe. They have just started to really develop her, and that is Nebula. She got a lot of development in, well, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, Volume 2, Infinity War, and Endgame, so I think why kill her now when you're just starting to make her so interesting. Personally, I believe 1 to 2 more movies with her at least before she is killed, but I definitely don't think she has a long-term future, as what more can they do now that Thanos, her father, is dead, and he was a big part of her character development, as obviously she was his daughter, he tortured her, he made her work for him all of the time. She had no life, it was all suffering for her, and now that he's dead, she's turned good. She's helped fight with the Avengers and with the Guardians of the Galaxy. What can they do from now? I don't know. Now, Mantis, I'm not too sure. I think she could be safe because no one actually cares about her, to be honest. Like, I tell you now, Mantis is confirmed to die in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. What's your reaction? Do you care? No. I think the only possible way she could die is if this movie is centered around her. Now, I know I've said that a lot, and this is actually very possible, as she has not had much to do in her role in the MCU, and a lot of people haven't been happy about that. So there's a high chance she could just go out on a high note. They center this movie around her, they focus on her backstory and stuff like that, and then they kill her. Simple as that. However, I don't think that will happen because I'm one of the people that thinks Drax will die, and obviously she likes Drax, so it would be interesting to see how she would react to Drax's death, and that could help develop her character. And obviously she does need a bit of development because she doesn't really do too much. She's obviously a very useful character as well, as she helped put to sleep Thanos in Infinity War and Ego in Volume 2, so I definitely think they're going to keep her alive. But Groot, I also think is safe. Now, I don't know what age we're going to see Groot. Like I said, it's probably going to be sometime between teenager and adult, so he's not going to be the fully grown Groot we saw in Volume 1. However, he is going to be much older. If I'm being honest, I'm not a fan of teenage Groot. I thought he was kind of irrelevant and annoying, to be honest, but hopefully they can bring him back to as likable as he was as baby Groot and adult Groot, and I think he is safe, to be honest, because Groot is a money maker. Everyone loves Groot. And at the end of the day, it's a business, so they want their money. And also, how can Groot die? We literally saw in Volume 1 him, save everyone and turn into a pile of twigs, and all of a sudden, one of those twigs grows into a new Groot. I know it's not the same Groot, but how can that, person die? I know it's going to be a different person every time that the twig is in the plant pot and it grows, but it's still kind of Groot, it's Groot's son in a way. Yeah, I don't see Groot dying for a very long time, to be honest. And finally, Gamora. I think she is very much safe. Why would they bring her back from 2014 and fight against Thanos in the end battle of Endgame if she's going to die in the very next movie? She has a lot of development to do, as this is not the Gamora we saw in Volume 2 and Infinity War. This is the Gamora we saw in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, pretty much. So everything we saw of Gamora from Volume 1 and onwards can literally happen again. That can be her development again. It's going to be interesting to see how her relationship with Peter Quill turns out, as obviously they fell in love and then Gamora died, so it'll be interesting to see if they become that same thing again, they become a couple or not. And yeah, there's a lot of work they can do with Gamora, as she's a character from the past who's just been jumped into the future. So to wrap off the video, I think Drax is going to die. If not, then Rocket, and then if not, Mantis. And if it's not any of them, I don't think anyone's going to die, and it's just false information that someone is going to die. So yeah, let me know who you think is going to die. This has been my first Marvel video since hitting 1,000 subscribers. Thank you for that again, and let's get me to 2k. How about that? So yeah, thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment, and yeah, in a bit. Thanks for watching.